This is Byron Hazel here, aka Byron the Multiple Interests Man and Triple B 780, and welcome to this special 55th episode of What's Going On with Triple B in Life. And as always, we will be discussing topics about not just me, but like other things going on as well. Except in tonight's video, we will be talking about one specific thing, and we're going to be paying tributes to this one attraction that is very special and important to a lot of people that have experienced it and that have discovered it, even if they did not get to experience that attraction in person. That I am talking about Jim Henson's last project that he ever did before leaving this earth, which is none other than Muppet Vision 3D. For those of you that have not seen my movie review on that film, it's part of my series called 4D Movie Madness, and if you have not seen that review already, I will go ahead and put that link in the description below if you have yet seen it. I basically did a review on that attraction a few years ago, so you can go ahead and check that out. And I'm not gonna lie, but when Disney announced that Muppet Vision 30 was going to permanently close in favor of the new Monsters Inc. land that is coming to Disney's Hollywood Studios, which is the 4D attraction's original home, I had mixed feelings about it. And honestly, a lot of people were pissed about it. I don't blame them, honestly, but I'm extremely devastated that Disney has decided to go ahead and do this, but at the same time, I can understand why. Even though it's just all full of corporate greed. Yeah, of course, but I knew it kind of had to go, but even though it should have never permanently closed in the first place, because it's basically like a memorial, honestly. Like, Muppet Vision 3D has touched a lot of people for over 3 decades, and it clearly shows. And here's a fun fact regarding Muppet Vision 3D. It was actually not going to be an attraction to be there by itself. You see, when Muppet Vision 3D was in development, it was actually going to be part of this land called the Muppet Land, which would not only feature the 3D attraction itself, but also restaurants themed to the Muppets, as well as the Great Muppet Movie Ride, which would have been the Muppet version of the Great Movie Ride, which no longer exists at Disney's Hollywood Studios. And back then, the park was called Disney's MGM Studios because MGM had the rights from Disney to use their name for their park. However, though, that permanently changed in 2006, and I think it was due to their contract expiring, so it is what it is today. I'll be honest with you guys, I actually mentioned this in my review also, but surprisingly, I actually got to check out Muppet Vision 3D in person, but I only did that once. And it was back when Muppet Vision 3D was at its peak. Like during the silver days of Hollywood Studios, with the Sorcerer's Hat in the middle of the park, as well as like other rides and attractions around, like the Honey I Shrunk the Kids movie set adventure, that was around. The Backlot Studio Tour, that was also around at that point. The Sounds Dangerous attraction, the Great Movie Ride, the Rock and Roller Coaster featuring Aerosmith, which is actually going to get rethemed to the Muppets next year. The Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, Voyage of the Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast Live, Fantasmic, Playhouse Disney Live on Stage, The Magic of Disney Animation, Toy Story Mania, which was new at the time, the upcoming American Idol experience, which was in the process of opening around that point, and even the Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular show, which I do remember seeing that, as well as the original Star Tours ride. Oh, and not to mention the Toy Story Pizza Planet restaurant, which I actually went there once. I kind of remember very well. I mean, hey, I kind of liked it. I mean, it was not my favorite. I think it was kind of weird for them to make it into Pizza Rizzo. I mean, of course, they kind of made it into the Muppets Courtyard, almost like a mini Muppet Land, so that was something. And then basically when we went to Hollywood Studios again in 2021, and yes, this was during COVID, my mom and her boyfriend, which is now her fiance, they basically decided to see that attraction again, and I decided not to because I don't know why. It's just, I guess I was just not into seeing attractions that are like made in the 90s. Well, just basically the 4D attractions themselves, because I knew that they were kind of aging badly, but I don't know, it's just me. But looking back, I kind of wish that I experienced it, but not those terrible times. I'm sorry. But honestly, I wish we could have went a little sooner, but unfortunately, it is what it is. But it was a fun movie, though. It was one of those attractions that was literally not torturous. Same with Captain EO, like that one was not torturous at all. It was just a lot more enjoyable, a lot more fun. It was something that was just enjoyable for everybody. And what you guys have to understand as well is that when Muppet Vision 3D opened in 1991 and ran its course until this past Saturday, it was actually the longest running 4D show to ever exist in person. I mean, honestly, my dudes, I wish Captain Neo surpassed Muppet Vision 3D with that, but unfortunately he did not. And yeah, it's like, it's just really unfortunate. It's like a huge deal. Like larger than any other 4D attractions that were made, and none of them were made right before any of the creators had passed. But this one we're talking about is unfortunately not one of them. Based on what I was talking about earlier, the thing is, when it comes to experiencing Muppet Vision 3D in person and based off of everybody's emotions and such, it was like seeing your aunt and uncle in another state for like a family reunion or something, and everybody treated like that. And I definitely agree with everybody that seeing Muppet Vision 3D at Disney's Hollywood Studios was definitely like seeing your aunt and uncle in another state that you visit and visiting them for a while. And with that attraction unfortunately closing, I would imagine this event being the fact that your aunt and uncle died from like anything, like right after their parents died from cancer or birth, like literally right before your aunt and uncle would be born. And it's something because tragically, one of my uncles died this past Christmas, and it was one of the worst things that we had to cope with. And that time was just coming. It was just not really that good, honestly. It's like, I mean, I'm glad I got to visit my uncle down in Alabama. I mean, it's kind of like that moment. Honestly, I don't even know what to say. It's just, it honestly sucks. But hey, at least we had the glorious 3-day finale that was going on, running on June 5th, 6th, and 7th. And hell, they even had Steve Whitmire being one of the special guests, doing something like a Q&A session and meeting a lot of fans. Because for those of you that don't know, Steve Whitmire was actually the voice of Kermit the Frog, who took over Jim Henson right after he died. And I thought that Steve was doing fine as Kermit, even though Jim Henson was the golden age for a lot of older generations, and honestly, I can definitely see that. Although I'm still pissed about the fact that Disney fired Steve Whitmire. And not to mention, guys, but believe it or not, the Henson family was actually involved in Steve Whitmire's termination. I somehow knew that they screwed him over the fact that Steve Whitmire took over Jim Henson portraying Kermit the Frog when he was just doing just fine. Like, come on, Disney. It's like, what the hell's wrong with you? And I'm sorry to say this, but with Matt Vogel voicing Kermit, he just doesn't sound really as good in my opinion. It's just, he kind of sounds like me just trying to voice Kermit. I'm like, bro, seriously? Look, I'm sorry, but I think that Matt Vogel is better off playing Constantine from Muppets Most Wanted than playing Kermit the Frog that he's been doing since 2017. And also, here's the thing. Disney did say that they're going to find ways to preserve Muppet Vision 3D, and a lot of them are going to say that, it's going to the Sunset Showcase Theater. I mean, that would be kind of cool, but to be fair, I highly doubt that's going to happen, but never say never. Who knows? And some suggest that Muppet Vision 3D should be relocated to Epcot, where they have the Magic Eye Theater. I mean, that would be cool as well, but honestly, guys, I hate to say this, but I do not think that it would look that good in the freaking Magic Eye Theater, which is literally a shell of its former self at this point. Like, I'm sorry to say this, guys, but I don't really see Muppet Vision 3D coming back in person of any kind. I mean, take a look at Honey, I Shrunk the Audience. When they announced that it was going to be closing in favor of Captain Neo returning to the Magic Eye Theater at Epcot and Disneyland back in 2010, they stated that was going to be a temporary closure, and some people did not want it to be permanently gone. But sadly, they confirmed that Honey, I Shrunk the Audience is permanently closed. I think they quietly confirmed that. And look what just happened 15 years later. They never brought that 4D movie back, even after Captain Neo left the Disney parks. It's unfortunate because companies don't really care about you. And I'm sorry to say that, but it's true. Also, speaking of Muppet Vision 3D's preservation, I have another story to tell as well. And so when I first discovered Muppet Vision 3D as a kid, I learned that it was Jim Henson's last project, but I did not understand the legacy and the preservation that the movie had as like a national historical type of landmark for Disney. Nor did I understand how important it is and how historical it is for a lot of reasons. And I agree, it should have been. And because of you guys and the all Muppet fans out there, learning the preservation of Muppet Vision 3D really helps me understand why it's important in the first place and why it's like that. And I could not thank myself for learning more about it and for everybody to keep not only the fan base alive, but to also keep the Muppets community going. This clearly shows, and I'm not sure how kids in the future are going to view the Muppets in like a very unofficial way. I don't even know what to say, guys, but you know what this really reminds me? The fact that Universal had removed Shrek 4D a few years ago. I'm not too sad about the one in Hollywood, but to be fair, ladies and gentlemen, I am still disappointed in the fact that they had to remove the one in Orlando. That one should have stayed a lot longer. Sure, it's not entirely like Muppet Vision 3D, where the creator of Shrek died after finishing production of the film, but honestly, Shrek 4D had impacted a lot of people. Just basically the movie itself, and it had a story that literally connected between the first two Shrek films. I mean, it was like a promotion for Shrek, and the real reason that I think it should have been preserved is that it was one of those long-running attractions, and it was going to be 20 years old in 2023, but unfortunately, for the one in Orlando, that was not the case. Like, I get it, it had to close because of age, but luckily, they moved Shrek over to the DreamWorks land, which is actually real nice. And now Disney's going to do the same thing with the Muppets, but by putting them in the Rock and Roller Coaster, which I think it's going to be good, but not as cool as the Aerosmith theme. But at the same time, it's not going to be the same. And speaking of people wishing for Muppet Vision 3D to come back to Disney's Hollywood Studios or even other parks at Disney World at any time. Some rumors regarding the former Shrek 4D attraction at Universal Studios Hollywood, they kind of wish the same thing for Shrek 4D to return, but only for the DreamWorks Theater, which apparently they only show the Kung Fu Panda movie, and apparently right now they're not showing other DreamWorks films as like certain attractions, not even that freaking Shrek 4D film that they once had. But back to the topic about the Muppets, like I said, it has touched so many people. I don't even know how to describe the loss of Muppet Vision 3D that literally went viral, and I'm sure that the Shrek 4D farewell literally went viral as well. And my condolences go out to Jim Henson's family, as well as his friends, the people that he worked with, and the people that he met, and those that had been affected by Jim Henson's passing. Like, I just cannot even imagine how tragic his passing was. And as always, he will forever be missed. But I hate to break it to you, I think it's time for the moment of silence of Muppet Vision 3D. The moment of silence starts now. Other than that, I'm glad that Muppet Vision 3D existed, and I'm glad that I checked it out in person. And another fun fact regarding Muppet Vision 3D, I was actually looking forward to that attraction before we even went to Disney's Hollywood Studios. Like, I remember watching a bit of a pre-show, and I remember watching Muppet Vision 3D on YouTube, like, a lot. It was honestly a great time to be a 2000s kid, being exposed to the Muppets a lot more than just me watching Sesame Street and Fraggle Rock. It's like, this is just something. Oh, and not to mention Bear in the Big Blue House. Like, that's typically another nostalgic show. And even on Muppet Vision 3D's final days of existence, everybody was just tearing up. Like, everybody was just emotional. Lots of people were crying from what I heard. Like, I just can't even imagine how emotionally harmful that it really is to the fans, like I said before. It's like, dude, this goes to show how amazing that Muppet Vision 3D was, and that it had been for more generations to come. And in conclusion, all I can say is not only that a lot of us are going to miss this attraction, but kids that have not seen Muppet Vision 3D will never get to experience that, sadly. Even my baby cousins will never get to experience the attraction. They will never understand how fun the attraction was and how important it really is to not only the Disney community, but also the Muppet community, as well as the community of people that grew up in the Jim Henson era while Jim Henson was alive. And I agree with every single Muppet fan out there that Jim Henson's legacy should always live on, no matter what. And that's all I have to say about it. You know, I thought there was going to be a Q&A today, but since no one had asked me any questions, we're going to go ahead and skip it for now. Alright, so that's it, guys. That is my 55th episode of What's Going On with Triple B Life. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you later. I hope you enjoyed this vid. Stay tuned for more videos coming away this week. And as always, this is me, Byron, signing off. Peace. And may Jim Henson's Muppet Vision 3D rest in peace.